Coming up on Eyewitness News, one of the 3 people shot at FSU's Strozier Library spoke exclusively with Eyewitness News during his first public appearance back in the Tallahassee community. And the Department of Homeland Security will be funded, but only for a week. We'll tell you about the 11th hour deal. And hackers here in the local area put their skills to good use. That story coming up. That and Lauren will give us a look at the weather. Eyewitness News at 11 starts right now.
Live from the WCTV studios, this is Eyewitness News at 11. Coverage you can count on.
FSU shooting victim Ronnie Ahmed speaks out at his first appearance back in the Tallahassee community. Good evening, everyone. I'm Winnie Wright. James has the night off. Ahmed was one of 3 people shot at the school's Strozier Library back in November. Eyewitness News reporter Kevin Clark spoke to Ahmed about his long road back in this exclusive interview.
When I woke up, I made the decision that, I could handle this, one of 2 ways, and I wanted to handle it as positively as I could.
That's been Ronnie Ahmed's mindset since being shot 3 times in front of FSU's Strozier Library more than 3 months ago. One of the bullets paralyzed Ahmed from the waist down, but you wouldn't know it from the smile on his face.
This is my home. I've been here for 3.5 years now, and I've made a huge group of friends here, and I was really looking forward, to being back with them, kind of getting back to normal life, really.
Normal life starts with friends and family. Ahmed has plenty of both at a benefit led by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Tri-Eagle Sales. Money raised from the event will go toward his medical bills.
I won't lie, it's tiring, going from one doctor to another doctor to another doctor. But everything's coming back pretty well. It's more or less just time needed to get everything squared away.
Ahmed has been back at FSU for about 3 weeks, balancing a life of class and doctor's appointments. He's already been back to Strozier Library and is completely at ease studying there.
It was a freak accident. It's not something that happens very often, and I understand that it was a rare event. I don't ever see it happening again.
Ronnie will continue studying at FSU with his goal of becoming a biomedical engineer. He says here is where he belongs. Reporting in Tallahassee, Kevin Clark, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Officials say they hope to raise $5,000 for Ahmed through tonight's benefit. A fire at a local hotel is being investigated as an arson. Guests at the Budget Inn on Tennessee Street got an unexpected wake-up call this morning. Many were woken up by a fire alarm. TFD responded to the Budget Inn just before 11 a.m. According to the fire department, the fire was contained to one room on the 2nd floor and no one was injured. It took firefighters about 10 minutes to put the firefighter out. Guests were evacuated and stayed outside for about an hour until they were let back into their hotel rooms. An early morning shooting leaves 1 man in the hospital and another behind bars. The shooting happened around 2:30 Saturday morning at the J&B Club on Asheville Highway. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department says the suspect was arguing with another person inside the bar. The suspect then fired a series of shots with 1 round hitting a bystander in the leg. We are told those injuries are non-life-threatening. 26-year-old Quentin Tompkins of Greenville is charged with reckless display of possession by a firearm by a convicted felon. Tompkins is being held in the Madison County Jail. The investigation is ongoing. This summer, uninsured and low-income patients in Florida could lose their health coverage. That's according to the Obama administration. The state health care budget faces a loss of about $1 billion. The administration wants Florida to expand Medicaid to cover uninsured Floridians, but Republican state House leaders say the expansion is unnecessary. The legislative session begins Tuesday. Just a few hours before midnight, President Obama signed a bill to extend funding for the Department of Homeland Security for a week. Conservative Republicans opposed it over Obama's executive actions on immigration. Here's Juliana Goldman.
The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The 11th hour deal was reached after a chaotic and messy day of deal-making that highlighted deep divisions between Republicans. Earlier Friday, House Speaker John Boehner had tried to pass a 3-week funding extension for the department, but he and his leadership team were defeated by their own rank and file, who refused to support the measure that left intact President Obama's immigration actions. Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert voted against both bills.
Mr. President, you have usurped far too much power. We can't let you destroy the Constitution any further. We are taking a stand.
To avoid the partial shutdown, Boehner had to rely on votes from Democrats. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said their support came with the promise that there'd be a vote next week on a clean bill to fund DHS through September.
And we believe that within the next 7 days, hopefully 5, that we will have a bill that takes us to the end of the year, end of the fiscal year.
But an aide to Boehner tells CBS News that the Speaker made no such deal with Pelosi. The funding dispute over an agency tasked with counterterrorism is a major test for Republicans who took control of Congress 2 months ago on a promise to govern effectively. There isn't a clear path for Boehner to unite his party's competing factions, and tensions run deep. In a tweet earlier this week, New York Congressman Pete King said, "I've had it with this self-righteous, delusional wing of the party that leads us over the cliff."
Boehner's aide says the next step is to try to get House and Senate negotiators to go into conference Monday over the president's immigration actions, but Senate Democrats have said they'll block those negotiations. Identity theft remains the top concern of American consumers. This, according to an annual report from the Federal Trade Commission. There's been a string of recent security breaches, including those at Home Depot and Anthem Health Insurance. Those 2 incidents potentially affected tens of millions of Americans. But there's another concern rising: crooks falsely claiming to be government officials and trying to gather personal information from victims. The FTC said they received about 160,000 such complaints last year. That's more than twice the number of complaints from the year before. And in Valdosta, computer programmers and designers put their skills to the test for the 2nd annual hackathon. The event, held by the Valdosta State University and Azalea Health, featured student competitors in teams of 2 to 5 people. Each team was given a software problem and 8 hours to solve and develop a software solution.
We want them to be more culturally aware of what's going on in our world and hopefully create an environment that will be equal for everyone.
The Southside Library Boosters will be hosting a Juneteenth celebration dinner this upcoming June, a celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the U.S. More than 100 pets are lining up to get their pictures taken. The Tally Top Pet Photo Contest began today at Lake Ella. Pet owners can enter the online contest and vote for the best pet photos. The winner of the contest will get to ride in the Be the Solution float during the Springtime Tallahassee Parade.
It's about friendships, I think, and it's about people who care about spay and neuter, and they know that every penny that we raise goes right back to the community.
All proceeds from the contest will be used to spay and neuter pets in our area. Still to come on Eyewitness News, underage, in uniform, and not allowed to drink. Find out what Senate bill could soon change that. And South Florida gets some not so great weather. Details on the icky conditions coming up.
Well, it was kind of icky here as well, not just in South Florida, but in North Florida and South Georgia as well. Let's get to the boards, show you what's going on radar right now. Most of those showers now confined to the eastern half of the Florida Big Bend. But as we head into tomorrow, we're going to see even more showers redevelop and move inland. I'll break down those rain chances and tell you what to expect as far as temperatures go, coming up in just a few minutes.